F off. Harry feels ashamed that he compares the palace to a dump in front of Meghan. Greetings and a heartfelt welcome back to the Princess Diana News YouTube channel. Harry confessed to feeling ashamed to unveil his residence, Nottingham Cottage, to Meghan, sharing that Meghan likened it to a fraternity dwelling. According to Harry's book, he states that he had failed to previously acknowledge the worn-out condition of the furniture in his residence. However, Meghan came to his aid in that department when she seemed particularly unimpressed by Harry's choice of a beanbag chair that perfectly complemented his brown sofa. However, true to form, this hypocritical assertion is not without its flaws. Therefore, following their wedding in 2011, the Prince and Princess of Wales initially resided in a small, two-bedroom cottage prior to relocating to apartment 1A within the larger structure. In addition, the residence was home to Marion Crawford, the Queen and Princess Margaret's ex-governess, for a period of 2 years starting in 1948. At a later time, she described the property as a beautiful vision of matured red brick, adorned with roses encircling the entrance. It appears that Harry felt extremely embarrassed because his residence was merely next to a palace, rather than being a grand palace itself. To be honest, if I were in his shoes, I would feel considerably more ashamed for not fully covering the cost of the accommodation independently. However, being an ordinary person, I lack the understanding of the experience of being part of the royal class. Currently, the majority of us allocate a substantial portion of our income towards paying for housing expenses, whether it be mortgage payments or monthly rent fees. Imagine the scenario where someone kindly offers you a complimentary mode of transportation. Additionally, the house is not only beautiful but also of exceptional quality. Afterwards, you were disappointed by its lack of resemblance to an actual palace. Perhaps, Harry could have mentioned to Meghan that Nottingham Cottage was built nearly a century prior to the establishment of the U.S. Even before coming into existence, it began to take form. The notable Nottingham Cottage was skillfully created by the renowned architect Christopher Wren during the 17th century. Additionally, Wren's architectural expertise extended to the south front of Hampton Court Palace, the Royal Hospital Chelsea, and the historic Royal Naval College in Greenwich. In addition, the abode was occupied by William and Catherine, who were blissfully content. They resided there until George's birth, and they were completely satisfied with the location. It is highly probable that Meghan had anticipated a smooth transition into residing at Windsor Castle. Consequently, her deep disappointment led her to convey her feelings to Harry, who then attributed the situation to William. It seems that they had the audacity to approach Queen Elizabeth II and ask for a residence within Windsor Castle. Can you believe it? Instead, she bestowed upon them Frogmore Cottage. As a result, the tenants residing in the originally single cottage, which had been partitioned into multiple residences, were compelled to relocate solely to cater to the needs of these two individuals. Prior to being in a relationship with Meghan, it is important to acknowledge that Harry was unattached, thus questioning the necessity of him having a spacious residence. He was making a comparison between his single status and his brother's living arrangements. However, during that period, his sibling was already in a marital union with 3 children. Additionally, Harry was provided with housing by his employer. William held a significantly higher position in the company, which naturally led to him receiving superior perks and rewards. It's actually quite simple. One day, Harry expresses sympathy for William, who he believes is trapped, while feeling grateful for his own freedom. The following day, he expresses his discontent, revealing his bitterness about William's larger share. Meghan's immediate fascination with a stunning and enchanting cottage situated on the estate in central London should have served as a significant indication to Harry that her intentions were solely focused on the luxurious lifestyle, without any genuine consideration for serving others. Harry's actions are causing great embarrassment for his family, yet he remains unaware of the fortunate circumstances he has been given. He displays audacity, doesn't he? I find it highly offensive to the families who are facing hardships in their attempt to maintain a stable living situation. In essence, Nottingham Cottage offers an exquisite living arrangement that numerous individuals in Harry's age bracket can only fantasize about. What is even more distressing is that Harry has dedicated several years to frequenting homeless shelters and individuals experiencing impoverishment. What was his perspective on the situation? Did he believe that everyone was simply pretending? Perhaps he thought they were being paid to entertain him. How could their experiences not have any impact on him? Did he not acknowledge his immense privilege while traveling in a luxurious limo on his way home? I remain perplexed about Harry's intentions. It appears that he is attempting to gain others' approval, but his lack of awareness is perplexing. It is truly astonishing how Harry can expect to be pitted for complaining about a home that was generously given to him for no cost during an economic crisis and impending recession. Think about it, he's complaining about being given Nottingham Cottage. Thanks to the funding provided by taxpayers. They sacrificed greatly to ensure Harry could enjoy a life of luxury. Perhaps he is experiencing humiliation, but the rest of us are simply feeling discomfort. This appalling situation is a major offense to the citizens of the UK, the Commonwealth, and even people globally. In the current situation, numerous individuals face difficulties in affording heating expenses and bills, yet Harry has the audacity to complain about the discomfort of living in a rent-free home. It vividly illustrates his complete lack of awareness. Harry must awaken and deliberate thoughtfully on his words. He exhibits traits of being indulged and having a sense of entitlement, yet his awareness of this appears to be lacking. He resided in that place for a duration of 6 years, and the issue did not lie in the cottage itself, but rather in his utilization of it and the manner in which he adorned the area. I am convinced that Harry lacked any talent in decorating, and this belief comes effortlessly to me. The majority of unmarried men in their youth have no issues with IKEA furniture. Instead of blaming the royals for his makeshift frat house, Harry should have used a portion of his inheritance to transform it into a luxurious palace-like space. Once again, Harry consistently blames someone else for his errors. Now, let's examine William and Catherine to make a comparison. They are always silent about their grievances. Despite the possibility of them facing certain challenges, their concerns often go unnoticed. And that is the crucial aspect. It's yet another motive to value their presence. I believe that regardless of any individual's personal preferences, there must be a certain level of admiration for them. They find contentment in their current circumstances. And I find that truly remarkable. Despite having more than us, they never express any dissatisfaction or complaints. It's difficult for me to accept Harry's claim of being happy since his facial expression doesn't indicate happiness. Moreover, if you pay attention to his words, it is evident that he is not expressing happiness either. In the event that Harry possessed even an ounce of intelligence, he would have been able to discern from Meghan's response to his residence whether she truly cared about him or was solely interested in his resources. As it is commonly said, the subsequent events became part of the past. Perhaps it's just my perspective, but I can't help but feel overwhelmed by the constant stream of information we've been receiving from Harry. It's causing me significant distress. Yesterday morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, my mind became consumed with only one thought. I must say, it is quite challenging to misinterpret the symptoms. Every time I pass by a pub garden, I instinctively react with unease. I am troubled by disturbing images of him energetically pleasuring a strong, assertive female horse rider. Whenever the topic of bridesmaids or dresses comes up, it truly overwhelms me to the point of nearly experiencing a panic attack. In the past, I had a fondness for mushrooms, excluding the psychedelic variety. However, currently, I have lost interest in consuming them. I assume Courtney Cox shares a similar sentiment as mine. It is highly unlikely that she anticipated Harry revealing the presence of a substantial collection of Black Diamond Magic Mushroom chocolates stored at her residence in LA. For everyone's knowledge, it was mentioned that he enjoyed complementing his meals by consuming them alongside tequila. It seems that she didn't appreciate or feel pleased with that realization. Regardless, I can find solace in the fact that I haven't made the peculiar mistake of confusing a human head with my kitchen trash can, unlike Harry, who claimed to have experienced this mishap after consuming magical mushroom chocolates. However, upon closer inspection, I realized that my IKEA lamps are not as good as I had thought. Therefore, I am considering purchasing new ones in the near future. In light of Meghan and Harry's apparent embarrassment, it seems they may want to distance themselves, which makes me reconsider my decision of keeping them. Regarding my sofa, I had to opt for a second-hand one due to my lack of royal status and the exclusive privileges enjoyed by Meghan and Harry. However, I did discover that my couch was initially bought from Sofa. I suppose I share a connection with those royalty folks since we both use the same website. I am currently filled with uncertainty regarding the racial biases of the royal family. Initially, Harry affirmed their existence, but later contradicted himself by stating they do not exist. Despite the fact that we all heard it, he denies ever uttering those words. On the other hand, similar to how memories can differ, it seems that appearances can also be quite deceptive. For instance, Harry points out that Meghan does not appear to be of predominantly black descent. What is the significance of this? I'm sorry, I don't have the answer either. Regarding Camilla, the question arises whether she is indeed the evil stepmother or not. Initially, there was an affirmation made about her being the wicked stepmother, but subsequently, there was a denial made regarding her role. According to those who have encountered her, she is considered delightful. However, we might have overlooked any indications of a devilish appearance such as a pointed tail or horns atop her head. Perhaps, we were all easily deceived by her cunning scheme to win favor from the British media. In hindsight, it is difficult to believe that we could have been so foolish. How did we fail to recognize that behind the facade of a cheerful, contented middle-aged woman in casual footwear, there lay an astute and malicious mastermind? Someone who took pleasure in indulging in a glass of wine while engaging in literary conversations. Perhaps, I have less awareness of my own personal truth compared to Harry and Meghan. I have not embraced a tombstone before. I have never experienced a connection with the deceased through my festive ornaments. Perhaps it's my fault in this situation. Perhaps it would be beneficial for me to try ayahuasca, similar to Harry's experience. Perhaps my hormonal balance is disrupted, or rather, non-existent, as I experienced menopause a significant time ago. Despite not being widely known, I prefer not to disclose every detail of my personal life to everyone. Perhaps a momentary pause is necessary for all of us. We require some time away from Harry. We must cease allowing him to inundate our minds with his foolishness. We must cease being lured by his and Meghan's mesmerizing melody. Ultimately, when considering life's hardships, receiving a slightly less pleasant bedroom at Balmoral is relatively insignificant. I believe there are far more pressing concerns that deserve our attention, rather than someone we once deeply cared for, who has now become a source of national shame. Do you share my viewpoint? If so, I kindly request you to express your agreement by liking and sharing this video with others who may also find it enjoyable. If you have any reasons for not doing so, please inform us in the comment section. Don't forget to stay tuned to Princess Diana News channel and receive even more videos to come by subscribing. I sincerely appreciate your viewership. Farewell, until our next rendezvous tomorrow.